There are thousands of young people today growing up in the homes of full-time Christian servants. Dad is either a preacher, a missionary, a military chaplain, or in other areas of full-time Christian service. These thousands of young people have their own unique issues and situations they are dealing with. We need to reach this generation. If we do not reach this generation, where will the next generation of preachers, evangelists, missionaries, military chaplains come from? In order to reach out to this generation, All Points Baptist Mission is making a concerted effort to minister to these young people. To help coordinate this effort at All Points Baptist Mission, God has sent us the Overfelt family, Ryan, Melissa, and Kiera.
Having been a youth pastor for over 15 years, I have a heart for teenagers and young adults. And God's called us to work with All Points Baptist Mission and to work with the Heirloom Seed Project, doing ministry specifically for the teens and the young adults of church planting missionary families and military chaplains families and others we know in full-time ministry.
There seems to be and is statistically a large number of those young people that for some reason or another do not serve the Lord. I think that Brother Ryan and Miss Melissa will be able to relate to those children, be able to help them in many ways. And so it's my recommendation that if you can at all, that you would support him. There is a need for these young people. It is important that we raise up another generation, and I find that he certainly is able to teach what he has learned from those before, and he is able to teach that to the next generation so they can do it also. May God bless you as you pray about support.
Our goal, our desire for this ministry and the burden we have for this ministry is to help these young people to continue on to serve the Lord and to find what God's will is for them. Sadly, there are a lot of young people that grow up in a missionary's home or in a full-time ministry home, whether it's military chaplaincy or a pastor's home, that are really getting discouraged with the work of God. They get discouraged with ministry, maybe due to problems, definitely due to the attacks of the devil. There's extra pressure, almost like they have to be super Christians. And that can really take a toll on young people. And our ultimate goal is to change that trend instead of having the majority of young people walking away from ministry and from the things of God that they know. Conversely, running to it and being excited about the things of God and having a close fellowship with God. And so we want to be there with the Heirloom Seed Project to help these young people of missionary families to make that transition into adulthood and into what is the will of God for them and to help counsel them in that direction. Already we've established email contact with them and phone contact with them where they can communicate with us or their family can communicate with us if they're having a specific need or something they'd like for us to pray about. We've been to training classes with them for 2 years. All Points does an advanced missionary and chaplaincy training in August of every year, and we have a class specifically designed for those young people. We're able to teach to them and counsel with them and help build relationships with them and their families during this week. This year coming up in May, we're doing our first ever Heirloom Seed Summit, and it'll be a 4-day and a 4-night retreat at a very nice facility just outside of Greenville, Tennessee. It'll be a retreat specifically for these young people, ages 15 to 22. We're trying to get them all together in one place where we can counsel with them, we can preach to them, but not only that, we can help them build good relationships with other young people that understand the stresses of ministry, the stresses of missions work, and where they can encourage each other that they're not the only ones serving the Lord in that way. And hopefully through that, we can help encourage these young people to continue on, not only encourage them, but help them to be excited about the work that God's given them and their family to do. We're establishing a secure network through All Points Baptist Mission where they can communicate with other missionary families and maybe help each other with the struggles they deal with concerning culture shock or just the problems of ministry. We look to in the future make trips to the field of service where those young people are at. So Lord willing, that's our goal in the future, is to continue to have these retreats where we can bring them together in that one central location. And then when we're not doing that, throughout the year, different times, taking those trips and visiting those families on the field and encouraging them there and helping them in the work. Many of these young people that have grown up on the mission field, or have grown up in a pastor's home or a military chaplain's home, they've been involved in putting on ministry. They're the ones doing Vacation Bible School. They're the ones teaching junior church every week, maybe working the bus route. And we have to ask ourselves that question, who is ministering to them? And so I think it's so important and so vital. We all need to be ministered to. We all need the preaching of the Word of God. We all need the fellowship of God's people. These young people are no exception. They need that ministry. They need to know that somebody cares about them. They need somebody to minister to them the things of God and to help encourage them in their walk with Christ. And I think that that's vital. It's so important to what they're doing, and that's what God's called us to do, is to reach out to these young people and try to minister to them as they are trying to minister to reach people across the world for Christ.